Hello, DLR Libraries welcomes you to the first of 4 chair yoga sessions, mindful chair yoga, where we're going to gently warm up the body and prepare ourselves for some adapted yoga poses that we can do in the comfort of our own chair. So we'll get started now by simply grabbing your chair, and we'll take a seat and we'll find our first pose, which will be seated Tadasana. Tadasana meaning mountain pose. So we're going to be sitting, looking for really good posture. I'm beginning to rock a little bit here from side to side. I'll put my hands on my hips. I want you to feel how my pelvis is rocking from left to right, so that I can feel my sitting bones beneath me. So the base of the bowl that is our pelvis are those 2 sitting bones, like 2 little feet underneath us. So once we feel those, we want the majority of our weight to descend onto those sitting bones. So rocking side to side, we're just feeling left sitting bone, right sitting bone, rocking our weight from side to side. Come back to center then, place the hands on the lap, and just lean forward a little bit, and then lean back. Leaning forward and leaning back. Just take it nice and easy on your back, on your hips. As we take the weight forward, we're moving a little bit more towards the pubic bone. As we shift back, we're moving back towards the tailbone. Then we're going to combine those 4 directions. Back to the tailbone, to one side to the sitting bone, forward to the pubic bone, sitting bone, tailbone. Gently just going around and around, warming up the hips, warming up the back, and getting a sense of how our posture needs to be. Rotate the other direction, and then come back to center and feel those sitting bones again. When we're sitting here like this, we're more likely to have that natural curve in our lower back and the natural curve in the back of the neck. That nice natural curve of the spine. So sitting tall now, crown of the head reaching the ceiling, shoulders rolling back, hands resting on the lap, noticing that the knees are directly over the ankles. So the ankles are supporting the knees in line with the hips. So we have our lovely Tadasana pose, sitting tall. So, Pawanmukasana, that's the word we use in yoga for joint warming exercises. So we're going to be going through all the joints of the body to warm them up and to get the circulation moving, so that when we come into the more fuller poses, we're ready to go and we feel we're comfortable in them. So starting with the neck. So gently, sitting tall, just begin to nod your head up and down a little, checking in with your neck. Nodding, just your nose is drawing a little 1-inch line up and down, and then we're going to go left and right. Nice and easy, and then make little circles, circling around with the nose, circling around the other way. Lovely. Coming back to center. Take a breath in. We're going to take our right ear in the direction of the right shoulder. Go gently now, come back to center, breathe in, and then going to the other side as we exhale. One more time either side, breathe in, exhale as we lean slightly over with the head. We're not raising the shoulder, we're keeping the shoulder down. Come back to center, breathe in, exhale to the other side. And come back to center, sitting nice and tall. Lovely. Right shoulder. Let's go up and down very gently. Test in. How does the shoulder feel this morning? Shoulder going up, shoulder coming down. If it's comfortable, we'll take that shoulder up a little bit more, hold it to feel the contraction, and then we'll slowly release the shoulder down, releasing the contraction. Breathing in, exhaling, slowly lowering down. We'll swap to the left side. First of all, just test the left shoulder. This could be your uncomfortable side. Maybe it's the one you lie on a lot when you're sleeping. So just check it out, going gently. In other words, we don't want to go beyond what's comfortable. Breathing in, the shoulder comes up. Exhaling, the shoulder comes down. And again, feeling the contraction of those upper trapezius muscles, and then slowly, slowly lowering down, releasing the contraction. Pause for a moment, just check out how that feels. And then when you're ready to, let's try both shoulders up. Both shoulders up. Notice how your neck disappears. And exhale, slowly, slowly down the shoulders come. One more time, both shoulders up. Exhale, both shoulders come down. Lovely. Now leaning back on the chair, place one hand on your upper chest, one hand on your abdomen. Bow your head down for a moment and just rest. Let's just tune in now before we go much further. How do the neck and shoulders feel? Can you feel your back leaning against the chair? Can you feel your spine resting against the chair? Bring your attention to the weight of the hips and the natural weight of the legs sitting on the seat. Take a deep breath in now, feel the body filling. And as you exhale, just let the whole body settle. We'll do 3 straw breaths here. I want you to imagine you have a drinking straw pursed between your lips. The exhalation is going to go out and down that straw, but we'll breathe in through the nostrils. So when you're ready to, take a breath in through the nostrils and then blowing out and down your drinking straw. Try that twice more. As you breathe in, can you feel the body filling? As you exhale, notice how the imaginary straw lengthens your out breath. So moving into a longer exhalation can be very calming. So as you rest here now just for a moment, feeling the breath moving under the hands as the body softly fills and softly empties with the breath. Check in now and just see if there any area in the body you need to be careful of as we do our practice. Maybe you have a funny knee or a dicky shoulder, or maybe the back isn't so great. Just call to mind an area that is an issue for you perhaps, so that as we go through our practice, you're going to take care and go slowly, observing how the movements help. So going very gently. Lovely. When you're ready to, let's release the hands to the lap, and let's put the hands onto the hips then and go back to our rocking. Noticing how we're taking the weight onto one sitting bone, the other one lifts, and vice versa. One hip is lifting, so we're using our side waist muscles as we go from side to side. Come into our little circling again, circling around. Notice how your pelvis is moving under your hands. This is really good for the flexibility of the hips, easing through the back, the abdominal area. Even it's very nice for your digestion. Coming back to center. So we've done a little bit of work on the neck and shoulders. Now we're going to move into the arms. So take the arms down by your sides with the palms facing behind you. Spread your fingers and then simply just turn your palms forward and turn them back again. So can you see how my arms are spiraling? And so because my arms are straight, the upper arm bone is spiraling and moving in the shoulder socket. So as I turn my palms forward, I'm going to send my shoulders back a little bit, lifting my chest. And then I turn the palms around. Notice how the shoulders want to come forward. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. And let's just shake out the hands. Make some circles with the wrists. Moving into the wrists, maybe one at a time. Focus on the movement of the wrist. Have a look and see which hand wants to move more easily than the other and go around the other direction. And then let's make 2 fists and let's take the elbows out a little bit and let the hands create circles around the elbow, like the elbow is the middle point of your circle. You can be strong on the shoulders now, so just do it a couple of times in either directions and then release the arms back down. Now hold on to the chair with your left hand, lean over to the right and let your right shoulder hover over the floor as you swing out that arm now to relax it. So the arm is heavy and dangling. Your arm is just like a rope and your hand is the weight at the end of the rope. And you're just swinging that arm to relieve any work that you've just done in the shoulders and in the shoulder muscles and the arm muscles. Coming to the other side, swinging out again. Lovely. And then come back to center. Let's take the hands to the heart center now. We call this Namaste. Make sure your feet are hip width distance, sit up tall. Shoulders moving back, head over the shoulders. Try not to allow the head to come ahead of the shoulders. Bring the head back over the shoulders, and your shoulders are directly over your hips. Gently, we're just going to raise and lower the hands. Simply going up and down with the hands. But I'd like you to bring the breath into the movement. So breathing in to lift, breathing out to come down. It doesn't matter how high you lift, just keep it comfortable for the shoulders. If you wish to place more pressure through the hands, that's fine. It's going to work your shoulders more. So you decide what pressure you're using between the hands, or they could just be lightly touching. So breathing in, breathing out. Slow it down now. See if you want to go higher. You may not want to. Doesn't matter. Just getting a little bit of movement going through here, through the shoulders, through the wrists, through the elbows, and then come back to center. Lovely. And let's rest the hands back down on the lap. Take the arms back down beside you. We're going to take the right arm forward and back down again with the breath. Breathing in, arm comes forward. Now, this, as you know, is 90 degrees, but that might not suit your shoulder, so take it down to 45 degrees. Then bring it back down. Taking the arm forward and back as suits you. Breathe in to lift, breathe out to come down. Going to the other side, left arm, does it want to come to 90 degrees? 90 degrees, all the way back down on the out breath. Breathing in to lift, breathing out to come down. Maybe 45 degrees is suiting you better. Just check it out. 90 degrees, back down to point to the floor. So again, swing out the arms and do this at any time you feel you want to take a little break. And then coming back to center, sitting tall. Keeping the chest broad, shoulders rolling back, shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. We're going to take the arms out to the side now. So a nice lateral raise. But again, this is going to be working, of course, the deltoid muscle. It may not suit you to go up quite to 90 degrees, so take it easy. Adapt the pose to suit you. You might be repeating this class a few times before we move on to class 2. And that might be a good idea to just warm up the shoulders over a few days, like doing it maybe 2 or 3 times a week or over a couple of weeks, so that you begin to get some flexibility into the shoulders. And take the arm down and going to the other side. So this first class is really all about warming up the joints, breathing in to lift, breathing out to come down. And when we're comfortable with this range of movement that we're going to be doing in this first class, the rest of the classes will be very easy and very comfortable to do. Lovely. So let's take both arms forward now, both arms down. Breathe in, both arms out to the sides. Doesn't matter how high you lift, exhale, coming down. Again, forward, breathe in, exhale, come down, out to the side. Breathing in, creating capacity for the lungs. Exhale, bring the arms down. Lovely. Lean back on your chair now, rest your hands and just check out how your shoulders feel. Take a couple of straw breaths, breathing in through the nostrils, blowing out and down your drinking straw, again in through the nostrils, out and down the drinking straw. Okay, we'll let the shoulders a rest. We're going to move down to the legs. So a little bit of tapping on thigh muscles, quadricep, the outer leg, all the way up to the outer hip. Now you could use a gentle fist, or you could tap with the hand, or you could just press with the fingers, whatever feels comfortable for you. So outer hips, down the IT band, it can be quite tight, and then give the knees a little rub, warm up, feel your kneecaps, and then the back of the knee, And then come onto your tippy toes and rub the hamstring area at the back of the leg, wherever you can reach. So warming up the legs. Feet back to the floor. Lovely. We're just going to start with a little bit of walking on the spot. So we're going to lift the knees only as high as feels comfortable. So swapping from side to side. Of course, here we're working on our hips, flexing the hip as we raise that thigh bone closer up towards us, going from side to side. So it can be the smallest little lift, or you can begin to really lift those knees up. Come back to center, take hold of the right knee. Let's take the right leg up. Let's just swing the foot forward and back a little. Broaden your arms, keep your chest broad, try and keep your head back over your shoulders. How does the knee feel as you begin to stretch out? If it's comfortable, you may stretch the leg out further. Again, we're working into the quadricep, the thigh muscles. Take the foot back down. Coming to the other side, up with that knee, begin to swing the leg. So how is the knee on this side? So it's a nice way to warm up the knee because there's no weight on the knee, obviously because we're sitting down. So chest broad, elbows broad, working into the knee, seeing how it feels, and gradually stretching out the leg, holding it for a moment, beginning to get those thigh muscles working, warming them up. We need to keep our quads nice and strong to protect our knee joints. Lovely. And from here, we're coming down to the feet. So I'm pressing my toes down, lifting my heels up, feeling the work in the lower legs, heels down, toes up, and just repeating that. Toes down, heels down, toes down, heels up, heels down, toes up. Working into the ankle. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to pick up this right knee. I'm going to circle the right ankle. So flexibility in the ankles is all important for our balance. So take your time and go slowly. See how perfect a circle you can draw with your big toe as you go left and right. And then take the foot down. Let's go to the other side. Now, simple and all as this might be, we need strong, flexible ankles, flexible knees, strong quads, happy hips for our daily activities, of course, and of course also in our yoga practice. It will help with all our standing poses, the more flexibility we have here in these joints. And then foot back to the floor. Lovely. So let's come back now to rocking a little bit side to side. See how the hips are doing. Move into your circle again, nice and slowly, as though you're going around the clock face. As we move back, we could say that's 6 o'clock. As we go forward, that's 12 o'clock. And we see if we can go right around the clock in one direction and then in the other direction. Feeling the pelvis underneath your hands, moving round and round, coming back to center. Lovely. So again, pause for a moment, check out how you're doing. A couple of straw breaths, breathing in again. Lovely. We're going to shift forward in our seat now, hips towards the front of the chair. Both knees are bent, both ankles directly under the knees, so the ankle is supporting the knee. We're going to stretch out the right leg, flex the foot so the toes are pointing to the ceiling, and see if you can get the knee as straight as you can. So this is going to be work for the hips. It's going to be a nice stretch on the back. It's also going to be working the hamstring. So we'll take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we simply folding at the hips, hinging at the hips, we move forward and back. The weight is going in through the hands onto the bent knee. Breathing in, lift the heart. As you exhale, lean forward. And having a sense of your whole back nice and long as you lean forward. So a couple more of those, breathing in, and then exhale as you tilt forward. The more you keep that foot flexed, the better. Come back to center. How did that feel? Let's swap to the other side. Other leg is out straight now. Sitting tall. Feel your sitting bones comfortably on the chair. Press your heel down. Get that leg really straight. Hands onto the bent knee. And again, we'll hinge forward. Now, you may not go very far because it is going to be quite a long, strong pull on that straight leg, but that's okay. Just come to wherever suits you. But the idea is not to round and come forward, but to keep that spine really straight as you come forward. Hold it for a moment, come back up to vertical, breathe in, exhale, over we go. Hinging at the hips, not at the waist, hinging at this. You're taking your pelvis and your spine forward over that bent knee. Coming back to center, lovely. Draw in that leg, sit back on your chair, check out how you feel. And so now we're going to come to standing. So let's come and stand beside the chair. Now, of course, you prefer to stay seated, that's fine. We can do some of the arm and shoulder movements while you're there. So standing tall in Tadasana, and if you're seated, come back into your Tadasana pose. When we're standing, we roll the shoulders back, arms down by the sides, hip width distance between the feet. Feet are pointing forward, feet are parallel. Legs are strong and straight. We feel the natural curve in our lumbar spine. We feel the natural curve at the back of our neck. Crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Feel the floor, feel your feet grounding. Wriggle your toes. Standing tall. Lovely. From here, we're going to take the hands onto the hips and we're going to take the feet a little bit wider. And we're just going to sway the hips a little bit from side to side. So just warming up the hips in this standing position. And then we might do little circles with the hips. Keep the legs straight, going around a couple of times in either direction. And then take the feet together, holding onto your chair, bending into the knees, straightening, bending and straightening. So the chair is there for support. And then coming back up to Tadasana. We're going to point forward with the left toes. So the leg is straight. I'm balancing on my right leg. Take the foot back in. A couple of times forward and back. And of course you can test yourself if you want to work with your balance. Take the foot back in. And then we're going to go out to the side. So out to the side, the leg is straight, the toe is pointed onto the floor, take the leg back in. Taking the leg out to the side a couple of times. Now we're going to go behind. So we're going to take the leg back behind us, but we're going to keep that leg straight. And press the hips slightly forward. Keep the front body long, roll the shoulders back. Foot comes back into center, back it goes again. So again, we're going to think about the clock face. So coming back to center, 12 o'clock. We'll say it's 3 o'clock out here, 9 o'clock out here. Come back to center. And then finally, see if you can do, as it were, the hands of the clock going through the half hour from 12 to 3 all the way back to 6. Back forward again. Stand tall. Notice all that work in the standing leg that's been supporting you. Lovely. Let's go to the other side. Bend into the knees a few times. And then we'll go to the other side. I'm going to stand out a little bit here. So we're going to go forward to 12 o'clock. Keep the front body long. Head back. Come back to center. So can you feel your standing leg working? This is great for the hip. Leg is straight. And then out to the side. And then behind. Now you could go much slower than hold the pose for a moment. Again, we're getting this openness in the front of the hip here, which counteracts all that sitting. Because when we're sitting, of course, the hip is flexed. So with the leg straight and the leg going back behind us, we have this openness in the front of the hip. It's an important movement that we don't often get during the day. Now, let's see if we can go from 12 My chair is in the way. Out to 9 o'clock, back to 6, out to 9, forward to 12. Going through your half hour. Lovely, and take the foot back down. Stand tall, arms down by your sides, back into Tadasana. Now we're going to turn and face the chair. So we're going to turn the chair around. And we're going to stand facing the chair. We're going to bend into our knees and we're going to take our hands onto the seat. Take your feet to hip width distance and just check where you want to be with your feet. You could bring them a little bit back away from the chair. We want the shoulders to be directly over the wrists so the arms are straight. From here, we're just going to literally sway the hips from side to side. So in the regular class I do for chair yoga, we often talk about the tailbone being like a sitting bone, dropping or at least swaying from side to side. So imagine you've got your puppy dog tail out there and you're swishing the hips from side to side. And then bend into the knees, move back with the hips and then move forward. So this is a lovely stretch for the lower back and works into the hips, into the hamstring muscle. So going nice and easy, breathing in as you go forward, breathing out as you go back. Then go back to doing a little bit of swishing. So these particular movements I would really be encouraging you to do a few times during the week if you can. And then gently we're going to take the feet together again. We're going to bend the knees, hands onto the legs. We're going to come up to standing, back into our Tadasana pose, standing nice and tall. Lovely. And now we're going to sit down and close the practice. So let's get back down onto the seat. Feel your sitting bones. Allow your straight spine to rest back on the chair. Turn your palms over. Let your shoulders and elbows drop to the floor. Bow your head down. Close your eyes for a moment and let yourself just settle into your resting pose. Closing the eyes and bowing the head down sends a message to the nervous system to quieten. Allowing the body to be still now, we just let the breath settle, let the heart rate settle, let the whole body then gently and slowly come to rest. Observing the breath moving in and out through the nostrils without any effort. Just let the breath find its own natural rhythm. Taking a few moments here to rest at the end of the practice. And then together we'll close the practice. Take the hands together at the heart center, sit up nice and tall. And then we'll take the arms out to the sides and breathing in, spreading the arms out, raising them up, take the palms together overhead, exhale, take the hands back down. And twice more, breathing in and fully out. And one more time, drawing energy now for the rest of your day and bringing it deeply into the body. Namaste.